Hey Pradeep, bro. Not sure what's happening. Why is no one joining?
Sir, I think this session was about to start at 1:30 now, so maybe that's why.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah, can you put up a message in that group, our group,
okay. A
for
lot of people are saying today's link is not found. Okay. Okay. Let me try to find the link and send it over then. Just give me a second. Is it possible? I mean, like, there was a person who was forwarding the links, right?
yes.
Can you ask them to again send it?
And yeah, we have sent already on our group.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just put up a message in that NSCCX SOS group,
Okay.
asking
Okay.
people to.
I'm unable to find that group. One second. I'm even part of it. Okay, I'm not able. Oh, yeah, got it. Yeah, it is already sent, right? Okay, someone has sent like 1.5 hours ago. Okay, let's see.
I was a teenage college.
Right, could be possibly. Yeah, Rajiv.
I think you also put up a message in the SOS group also. Divjot has not put up there.
Yeah, I have done that.
Okay.
I'll just forward this one. So in all the 4 groups, or which one? Is it the web development group?
There is this web dev bootcamp group.
No, that is what I am in currently. I guess there was a different group. Okay, this is our discussion group. Huh, got it.
Oh, it was our group. You have resent the message on our group only.
Yeah, I resent the message on our group, yes. So I resent it twice in our group and also the SOS group. Okay, sorry
Yes.
about the delay. So let's wait for another 5 minutes and then we can start it. Another 5 minutes, please, and then we can start it. Hey everyone, good morning. And sorry about the delay. I thought it was 8:30 and then I came in and I mean, my time wise, I felt that it's like 8:30, 8 o'clock. So I'm sorry for the 15 minutes delay. And unfortunately, this happened. Okay, so last time when we saw, it was all basically how we can cope up with different types of things. So today what we will be doing is we are going to recreate something using React. So before that, that is the third part. So second part is we will try to start with something basic. Okay. So basically there are different ways to start with React. So what I'm going to teach you today is the most easiest way. Do you want the most easiest way or do you want the most hardest way?
Obviously, the easiest.
Exactly. So let's go with the easiest way first. So so you all are familiar with the things that you want to have in your computer, right? So Node.js, etc. But in this easiest way, you don't need anything. You all need is one single browser. Okay, let me share my screen and show you what exactly is that easiest way. And before that, let's get this thing done too. Okay, amazing. So there is a website called react.new, and this will send you this code sandbox link. Okay, so once we start this, it gives you a React.js user interface, which is technically a VS Code in the hoods. And then this is the basic structure. Okay, the first thing is make sure you are asking all the questions. So I'll be able to happily answer them. Okay, let's go through the document structure. Basically, if you want to start with React.js projects, you will have these basic boilerplate. So boilerplate code is something like you have something to start with, and on top of it, you will build something. Okay. So this is the basic boilerplate you will get. Any JavaScript or Node.js projects will have something called as package.json. So this is for the Node.js side of things, where you will be able to find a lot of crazy things. I'll just explain everything quickly. So basically a package.json, you need to understand that there is a name of the package, then the version, what version you are working with, and then here's a description of what exactly this project is. And then you have some keywords to search with. Then what is the main file that you need to start with? So here it is the src/index.js. The dependencies. See, you are going to create a React application, but you are not going to code React, right? So React, React DOM, the React scripts to start with, the tooling, etc. All these things are dependencies that you are not coding. So you would be having everything taken from the other sources. Then there are some dev dependencies as well. So what are dev dependencies? Whenever you are trying to work locally, you might need more things to make it run. So it gives you a lot of information. So those are dev dependencies. For example, when you're running locally, you need a Babel runtime. What is a Babel? Have you heard of Babel fish from Star Trek? Anyone? Babel is a transpiler. So it is going to transpile from JSX, which is the highest level of language. So what we will be working with in React is a language called as JSX. It is not JavaScript, it is not HTML, it is a combination of JavaScript and XML. It is called as JSX. And to convert JSX into JavaScript, there are three processes. First, JSX will be converted into the latest version of JavaScript with class components and classes and other things. So that will not be understood by all the browsers. Then that is called as ES6. So JSX to ES6 transpilation, and then ES6 to ES5 transpilation will happen. So there are like these two levels of translation will happen. So that is called as transpiling process, and this transpiling process will be done by Babel runtime. And then we have got all the other scripts that going to help us. So these are the scripts to run. So first thing is you need to start the application. So you are going to start with you are going to see something like this. So whenever you do any kind of changes, you would be able to see this quickly. For example, they have asked us to edit the app.js. So if I'm saying like hi SOS, you would be able to see it quickly on the right side. So that's exactly what happens with hot module replacement. Okay, coming back to our package.json. So these are different ways to run the application. First thing is starting the application. So you want to start it locally, you'll be using npm start. Then there is npm build. What build does is you're not going to run it locally for development purposes, but you want to send it to the production level or like the real website. So that time you will be doing npm run build. It will create a folder, and in that folder will have 3 files. One is HTML, another file is CSS, another file is JavaScript. That's it. Everything will be added in that. So that is for the production build. It will be compressed and it will have unreadable code, etc., etc., because it will be extremely performing, like performance will be high. Then there is test. How many of you have got any idea about unit testing? Okay, who do not know unit testing? Who doesn't know unit testing? Okay, so this is for unit testing. And then npm run eject. This is a special command which avoids all the toolings. So for now, at this point, everything will be taken care by the React scripts. So this time, if you do npm run eject, what happens is it is not going to have all these different tools, but instead it will ask us to automatically do every single thing manually. So that is the difference between having a tool like React scripts without React scripts. So right now we have got all these files and folders, right? So all these will be deleted if you do npm run eject. That is the simple idea about what npm run eject does. Okay, coming back to what we are working on. So we have got these folder structures. So you have a public folder and a source folder. So if you see the public folder, there is an index.html file. So index.html file will be loaded first, and then it has got all these different meta tags. So if I try to open this in a new window, so here you could see that it says React app, right? If I change something to SOS React app, SOS app, and then, okay, let me save it. And let's save this as well. So now if I run this, you could clearly see that it says SOS app and then hello SOS comes in. So this is now a valid link. So anyone can access it from anywhere. So this is one easy way to deploy React. How easy was this? Anything? Anyone? Okay, so that's it. So it's a simple step process. It's very easy. Okay, now the next thing that we are going to do is trying to understand what exactly there is there in the HTML file. So basically, you don't even have a script tag here, right? There are no script tags at all because the Webpack, the React scripts will take care of that. So you have only one div ID root and come back to index.js. So basically, even this is not required. So we are going to get rid of this. So you are importing the app from this, but for now, let's not do anything. I'm going to say H1. So if I do this and refresh this page, so basically you get hello SOS. So basically in this, what you have is, there is one root element, which is this one. We don't even need to do this way. So there is this create root file, and then on create root, we are going to render this hello SOS. So when you are doing the render, this is JavaScript. So this part is JS, and this part is HTML. So together both is called JSX. So basically you have a combination of both JavaScript and HTML. Is that clear? Any questions so far? Amazing. Okay, superb. Now I'm going to clear all the drawings. Now let's undo all the crazy things that we did. So we want an application. The main reason why React was created was to enable splitting of the same page. So basically we took the Wikipedia example, right? Hello Wikipedia. So let's accept all. And if you see this again, when we saw Wikipedia last time, it was totally different. Now we are seeing it in a different way. So this particular page has got a lot of things like header, footer, the sidebar. We'll just consider that way. Okay. So if we have, let's say, in the SRC, if you want a file called header, we'll be using JS, not HTML. Okay. And then in this one, we are going to create one single function. We'll name the same file name as this. So this is header file. Tell me if there is any questions in this. So far, header file. We are creating a header. The header layout. No questions, right? Clear, right? This is just a function. So in this return statement, I'm giving h1 and I'm putting a header slash h1. And I'm also doing export default. Or I can do export default header. Okay. Any questions? So I'm having a function that returns header and I'm exporting it in the default way. We'll just copy this whole thing. And then I'm going to create another file, footer.js. I'm going to change the head into foot. That's it. Clear? And then another one file, sidebar.js. Same thing, sidebar. Three things. Any doubts? Any questions? Instead of sidebar, we can make it as navbar so that we are going to use the nav. Okay. Okay. Now, basically, if we want to import all these things, all we need to do is, I'm going to send it as JSR. Okay. I'm going to get rid of all these things. So if I do, we did header. Multiple things. Okay. So let's say I have div 2 times, right? I double click or I click on div. I press Control D on Windows or Command D on Mac. It selects the word. I press the Command D or Control D once again. It selects multiple times. Keshav, is this clear? Amazing. Okay, so we have the header here. Subra, now what else we have? Nav. So always close the tag. If you just leave the tag open, it is going to throw an error. So close the tag if there is no children. Then what is the next one? What's the next one? Next tag. Footer. Amazing. So you got header, nav, footer, right? Cool. So basically, this is how you import all these things. Okay. So this is the importing thing. So you already have imported app in the index.js. That's how it gets mounted on the thing. And we have got the app. Now, basically, we will be using something called as, instead of class component, we have got state component. There are like two types of components, stateful components and stateless functional components. What what is here is stateless components. Now let's consider what are all these states. Okay, so I'm going to do class app extends component, and it needs to have a render function, and render will have a return statement. And then we can do export default app. I guess I made a mistake. Okay, so both the things are similar. So here, the app is a class component. A class component is something like, okay, I want someone to unmute yourself and talk. Who is ready? Yeah, I'll explain again. That is why I want someone to unmute yourself and talk. Who is ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Who was it? Again, you went on
So
mute.
Keshav.
Keshav. Okay, Keshav. Keshav, tell me where I was born.
So India.
Okay, so you know that you're from your assumption or knowledge, you're saying India. Okay, I'm gonna tell one more thing. I'm gonna give you an input. Hey Keshav, I was born in Chennai. Okay, now again I'm asking you, where was I born?
So Chennai.
Amazing. So what happened here is, so Keshav, you are a component. Okay, so now initially when I asked you for a data, you had no data or you had some assumed data. Okay, and when I gave an input as a data through something called as props, you got an idea of, okay, you got a new information and you stored and you, okay, Keshav, where was I born again?
So Chennai.
You're exactly getting the same answer again, which is actually stored in your brain, which is called as state. Okay, so there are two types of data in a component. One is state, which is called as the common sense that you have got already. The app component, the component will already have some memory in it. That memory is called as state. So anything that comes as new is called props. So that is how states and props are different. Now, do you understand this? Any questions with respect to states and props? We will see in detail how those two things work. Keshav, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Was it clear?
Yes, sir.
Amazing, sir. Okay, now let's go back to our React part. So let's create a small component called, yeah, who was that, by the way, who just talked for a few minutes?
So Keshav.
So Keshav, okay. So we are going to create a component called Keshav. So class Keshav extends component. Let's say, let's make these things into Praveen itself. Okay. So now Keshav has to tell something, right? So return. Let's say you have to have a city. For now, you have got. So now, if you see this, we have got something like this. And after the nav, we are going to give Keshav here. Okay. So basically, Keshav says that Praveen was born in India. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I want to give something new. Okay. If, so let's say, so basically, Keshav did not get any idea about where I was born. So I'm going to give a place as Chennai. Now, Keshav says that Praveen was born in Chennai. Now, this is the props and this is the state. State can be modified. Okay. For example, let's say you get a prop. So what you can do is, there is something called as component dead mount, where you'll be getting some props. If this dot props dot place, then this dot set state. Okay, there should be some previous props or something. Okay, let's do one thing. Place is this dot props dot place. So if you see here, at this point of time, let's see the state value as well. Okay, we are not only returning, place the dot after this, dot for this, full stop, nothing else. This full stop, Chennai dot India dot, it's just the normal thing. This is just a full stop here. Okay. Okay. Now you cannot return two elements here. So for example, if I do a paragraph here and put another paragraph here, there are like two paragraphs. A return statement can have only one return statement, right? So similarly, you can have only one return statement. So instead, you can use a fragment, an empty tag. Okay. So this is an empty tag. So now you can have how many ever statements you want. Basically, the one which I love is, there is this pre tag. Okay. So why pre tag? Here, if I do JSON.stringify, let's say there is a person, there is a name. We have Keshav. Yeah, I'll just tell you what exactly happened. Account space, Nafis, I don't understand. Would you like to unmute yourself and ask your question? Or say something? Keshav, where were you born?
Sir, Rohini.
Sorry?
Sir, New Delhi.
Or New Delhi. Okay. So this shows in a very bad way. So what we can do is, we can give a command null, comma 2. Yes, sir. Pre-tag will count space. Yes. Okay. Now, if you see this, the pre-tag is so good. This is allowing me to see what is there inside a element or object or something like that, right? So if this is a string, I can show it as string, and maybe we can add a age as well. I'm just putting 20. Okay. So if you see that, we can clearly see that this is a string. This is a string. This is an integer. It's a number, etc., etc. So this is very good in terms of counting, debugging your variables. Okay. So here we are not going to debug this guy, this person guy. So just for your idea, I gave this. The reason why I use pre-tag is pre-tag will take care of the spacing as exactly how you are giving it. So that's why I use this for all the coding related stuff. Now, if I want to do, let's say state, this dot state, and props, this dot props. So did you see what happened here? So when Keshav did not get any idea of what exactly is being given, the state, the current idea that Keshav had was Praveen was born in India. Nothing else. No new information was given. So let's say we can give Keshav gender, we will give as male. Then what else we can give? Hello world. And if you want to send some numbers, we will be using, this is JavaScript, and we are going to give the number thing. And we can also give this way, like for example, name and age, or gender and age. We can give something like a string here, which concatenates both male, comma, plus 20. Or if you are using a high-tech thing like the latest ones, you can even give new gender or something like that. So what I would do is I would use this kind of backticks, and I can give 20 here, or any kind of like new date dot to string or get time. Oh, actually I can use date dot now. Okay, something like this. So I'm so sorry. This new gender and age gives a super huge number here. So okay. So for any questions. So these are different props that's given to Keshav, but unfortunately Keshav still has not guessed my place correctly. Still says India because I did not give the correct property, which is the place. So this is how the different components. So here you have a Praveen component sending data to a component which is there inside Praveen component called Keshav. There are like actually multiple Keshav components. So now you understand how React can do multiple things quickly, right? So all you need to do is add few things and then you are done. Okay. So any questions so far? So can everyone have a quick voice, like talk once, because a lot of people are not talking. Okay, Keshav, Nafis, Rajiv, Varsha. Varsha, any question? Krishna?
No, sir.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, super. So that's about the props and states. And now let's do something really interesting. So what about, okay, I'm going to start with something like how to update state. So basically, you can update the state. Only thing that you can update is your state. That means, can you have control over what I talk, but you have control over what you talk, right? So similarly, an app can control the own state here, but not the props. So using this dot set state, the app can control the contents of the state. So that is one thing. But props, unfortunately, app cannot control. So now we are going to do something else using a simple click action or something like that. So let's try to use a button or something like that, and then we are going to use the clicking or event listeners, etc. And then we are going to try that to change the content. So let's say Keshav has got a button, and this button, when clicked, this will change the state to change place. Unfortunately, you cannot change anything which comes as a prop, but you can actually change the state. Now, we can do something like a handle button click. So first thing will be an event. We don't want the button to refresh the page, so we are going to give event.prevent default. Button should not refresh the page. And now, on click, what we are going to do is handle button click. Okay. Now we can do a window.alert. You clicked the button, and then clicking on this, it says you click the button. So it is working fine. Now the next thing that we are going to do is, I don't want to show this one. Instead, I want to set the state as New Delhi. So basically, the idea of your understanding will change even by interacting with you. Let's say again, I come and say, change the place or something like that. Okay. So I click it here. Now it says Praveen was born in New Delhi. Interesting. I was not born in New Delhi, but let's look at this. Here it shows both Chennai. The reason is this component is different from this component. Okay. So there are two components, one Keshav and two Keshav. the Keshav 1 is understanding that I was born in New Delhi. Okay, fine. And Keshav 2 was already given a new information that I was born in Chennai through props. But at the same time, there is a new information that's coming directly to Keshav. Like Keshav realizes that, okay, it could not be this or something like that. So change place. Place has been changed here. But why does this still say it this way? Okay, it is because the way I have used this using props. The props will take more serious things. So if I get rid of this one, okay. So now if you have this as New Delhi, it changes to New Delhi. At this time, you have got both the state and props as Chennai because I said that I was born in Chennai. So again, I'm doing the change place, but still, even though the props hard coded is going Chennai, you can change your assumption to New Delhi. So that's how the states and props work. Okay, any questions with respect to states and props and this click event functionality? So basically, did you understand all these things? So on click event is like on click, you're going to do this.
So when we remove that previous line stating that this dot prop dot place
This dot prop dot
on line 24, we removed
okay, so
like
I
or statement.
hard coded it in such a way that in case if the props is not given, then use the state, but that was actually a wrong code, which if the state changes, then the props need to change, right? Sorry, if the state changes, the later state needs to reflect, right? So basically what I did is, if you have not given the prop at that point of time, okay, now this, okay, it still works. I don't understand how. Oh yeah, so basically if prop was given, if prop was not given, show the state. If not, show the prop. That was the content here. So, but what we are handling is here itself. When the document loads, if the prop.place is given, set the place to the props. That is what I'm loading here. So it is an irrelevant one, or it is a bad code, which should not happen. So we either you have to have this code or you have to have that code, and this is the better code. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Did I confuse you? Is everyone clear? Okay. All right. So now we have got this particular setup here. We can get rid of everything except the main part. So I'm going to get rid of, have this one alone. Or maybe I'll also, wait, let's have this file somewhere. Okay. Now, first thing is, we'll get rid of all the contents inside the div. Make this Praveen as app. Let's get rid of Keshav. And we can also get rid of these three things. Okay, so now I want someone to, okay, this is going to be a an interview question. How does that sound? Okay, this is the most common question that I will ask in interviews. So you have an app. Okay. So can someone quickly summarize between what is state and what is a prop? State and prop. Anyone? Okay, I will choose people because there are so many people who have not answered. Sorry, Varsha, I'm going to pull you in. Varsha, can you unmute yourself and just tell me whatever you know about state and prop? And if Varsha's answer is not right, kindly someone else also unmute yourself and correct it. Varsha, would you like to unmute, please? Okay, you are not able to unmute now. Okay, anyone else who wants to go first? Explain about states and props. So that's actually a interview question again. Okay, Varsha can text in the chat box. Go for it. So tell about states and props, and let's hear it from you. And then we will go with the next level. In the meantime, I'm just designing the state can be modified. Amazing. I was about to ask the same question. So what about props? Tell something about props. Okay, Varsha, one small correction. State can be modified using this dot set state. Okay, this dot state is the way to access the states. Okay, so you are taking the states, getting the value by using this dot state. By using this dot set state, you are setting the new state. If you are using this dot state to set a new state, that is, we are already doing this dot state dot place, etc. Right? So if you are doing that way, using this dot state equal to hello, it will not change. If you do this dot state set state status, the place is hello, then it will change. Okay. So Keshav says prop is given to the component as an input, whereas state is stored version of prop, stored version. That's it. It can be prop, it can be any custom values, anything, something like that. Okay. So now we have got this particular example. There is an app component, there is some text, there is a button. So on clicking on the button, I want the text to change. Okay. But what I can do now is, without having any, how should I say? Without having any new component, I can make it change. So for example, if I have a text here, I have a button here. Okay. Right. Now we have these two guys, right? Okay, we have got this text and button. So now tell me, how can I, on click of this button, change the text? Anyone, just try to say something. Event listener, amazing. So we'll have a handle click. So we'll do the e.prevent default. And how would we change this text? Tell me some on click plus function. So on click plus function. Okay, let's do that. On click, handle click. Okay, that's done. But what I should be writing inside this to make the text change? Value. Nope. Okay, first thing, the way I have written text, will this text change at all? It will not. So you need to send this text to a state so that it can be changed. Amazing. Props, we don't need props at this point. State.text. So now we would be using handle click, this dot set state, text changed. Okay, something like this. There are no props at this point. Amazing. So now it got changed. Okay, so this is what is the basic idea. But if you have two components here, let's say there are two components, const button, that will have this button component. So we can give handle click as the passing of parameter here. Okay, and then we can have the text component. That we'll get this component. Now, instead of these two things, we can make it as txt, but it needs what? Text. And then we are going to give this dot state dot text. The same way, we have a button component. It needs the handle click, which is this handle click, and then boom. Am I doing it correctly? Okay, whenever you are trying to use the props, you need to add this thing. So same way here. Okay, so now we have got, because it's going to be props dot. So yeah, for some, I'm still sleeping, so just trying to wake up. So now if you have a button component that has got the handle click from this, and then the text from this state. And then this is a member function. So now you click on this one, this will get changed. So if you see here, this is exactly one of the interview questions that I would generally ask for people to understand the basic React knowledge if they have got or not. Okay, any questions so far? So that's about states, props, etc. So we kind of got an idea about what states and what props are. And the next thing that we will go through is we are going to create a web application which enables you to have all these ideas. It is always better to have more components, because if, see, basically React is mainly created for doing multiple, it should actually help people to make it easier for them to start with a lot of things, right? So that's the thing. And secondly, if there are like so many people in the team and there are like so many pages in the app, it is better to have multiple components, because do you remember the npm run build which I was talking about? So that will compress everything and then send it over to you. So that way it is going to be very easy for the I mean, you don't need to think about the performance here. That is the reason. Keshav, was it clear? Amazing. Ayush, Keshav, Krishna, Varsha, any other questions? Was it helpful today? Okay, if it's possible, take a screenshot and then put it on the group wherever you are, or in LinkedIn, anything, whatever you learned. Okay, so that way it will be helping for you as well and for others too. Okay, it was nice meeting you all. Let's meet next week to make that project which we were planning. Okay, cool. So we'll do a small bootstrap demo. Oh yeah. This code is already available here. We can do it in GitHub as well, but here is the code right away. So please use this code sandbox link, and the code is available here. Okay, cool. It's just a dummy code, right? That's why I did not use GitHub in this case. Next thing, when we are working with the project, we will definitely use GitHub. Thanks for the idea. Amazing. Any questions, anyone? Have a happy Sunday, and thank you so much for coming in. See you all. Bye. Stay home, stay safe.